What's up guys, and welcome back to another EVE Online video. Uh, I'm a couple of days late, but the Crimson Harvest is upon us and it's honestly one of my favourite events of the year. A whole bunch of stuff happens, including combat sites, hacking sites all across New Eden, 90% loot drop during PvP, new skin lines, new drops, like great. And it runs a full month. We've got until November 5th. Like it's a great event. Big fan of it every year. So, but like I said, I'm a couple of days behind, and you may see a little bit of lag or whatever in my video. That's because I am on dodgy Australian hotel internet. That being said, I've managed to log in and just basically repurposed a practice side lying around in HiSec. It's not. I don't think it's a very good fit for this event, so you won't find it in the description. But basically, it's got rapid heavy missiles, and then it's over tanked. So, not a great example of how to run the site, but just this will show you what the site actually is. When you join the event, you have to choose which faction you want to support, Blood Raiders or Tetrimon. Doesn't really have any impact except a slightly different skin line choice, I believe. But basically, whichever faction you choose, if you want to rack up points in the event, you have to then take on the other one. So I chose Blood Raider, so I have to take on Tetrimon to rack up points. There is absolutely no reason you can't also run the Crimson Gauntlets or vice versa. It's just you don't get the points for running them, but you still get all the loot and there's no negative side to it. But this is the Tetrimon base. We're landing. I've got explosive loaded. I also, but like there, when you land, you'll see there's a shortcut gate that you can use straight away. You need a key to be able to use that. The Tetrimon base shortcut key pass. I actually have one, but in the interest of showing you the full site, I'm not going to go that way, of course. But these can drop as loot from the site, so you may just pick some up as you go along. When you land, the ships will scatter, they'll all warp off and then warp back in, so that they land at like their optimal on you. And the wave composition is completely random. It can be frigates up to battle cruisers, but it's random. I've gone explosive damage because this is a bad example. The Heretic actually has biggest explosive resists, but the Oracle, the battle cruiser, has an explosive hull. The Omen has an explosive hull. So just slightly annoyingly, they have a couple of ships that have the Curse is another one that has a big old explosive resist, which makes things slightly harder. Now for the little guys, I'm just using Caldari Navy missiles. For the bigger stuff, I will occasionally swap to Fury. But again, the rapid heavies on this reload time is 35 seconds or something, so it's such a pain. If you have time, like I don't have a prop mod on here, so I just slow boat over to the gate while I'm killing everything. But if you have time to drop an MTU and loot the Rex, in the Tetrimon base, it's possible to get the War Clone blanks from Rex that aren't the boss. They're rare, but it's quite possible. Whereas in the Crimson Gauntlet, there's not really any point in looting anything other than the boss. These Warclone blanks, at the moment there'll be nothing, but they're worth a million each down in nullsec. So people will place buy orders for just under a million at the market hubs, or you can sell them, and people will buy them in bulk and ship them down to nullsec for a million. But you can, you can safely assume that's kind of at least 750,000 per. Just the one wave, and then you can activate the gate. But I like to do it straight away before looting because a second wave will eventually spawn, or can eventually spawn, and then you'll be warp scrammed and have to clear that wave before moving on. As I mentioned though, so while warping, obviously reload just takes so long, but you want to try and do it when you can. There's a curse. All the ships have different types of E-War depending on what they are. This is actually a pretty nasty wave for most fits. 2 curses. The curse is Newt, as you'd expect from a curse. And also their resist profile is bad for the explosives. So they've got the opposite resist profile to most of the rest of the ships, and then neuting. So I'm going to get rid of the heretic first, then go after the curses. Again, this ship setup and weapon setup is bad for frigates, so I've got my drones for the frigates, but drone aggro is so real in this site. So yeah, you need to use them kind of sparingly and be prepared to pull them in and out and stuff as they go. Yeah, the curses, because their resist profile, take ages to take down. But I could reload to EM, but by the time I've look at that, that's a horrible damage output. I could, of course, put my drones on them to help, which might. Um, but you've got to keep an eye on the aggro. As soon as stuff swaps, you've got to bring your drones back in. So one has swapped, and now the curse has swapped as well. So I've got to bring them back in because there'll be a cascade of them. The other thing, so obviously the loot can be good. You can see I've just run 2 sites so far, and I've got a few skins and these things. But you also get very good bounty from everything. So the bounty is done entirely on the size of the ship. So frigates are 50, destroyers are 100,000, cruisers are 200,000, battle cruisers are 300,000, and then the boss is 5 million in the basic sides. So you rack up some really good bounty as you're running these sites, which is obviously nice. Right, go help out drones. I need to stop cycling that for a second and as I mentioned, I'm over tanked. So if I'm going to use this ship more often, I'll probably swap one of the multi specs for a prop mod. I'd definitely swap the weapon system because it just takes so long. You get 25, a clip of 25, and then that's it for the rest of it. It takes longer to reload than it does to empty your clip. Do I need to bring them in yet? I will now. Yes, this wave, there's multiple waves, so you need to clear, I think it's 2 waves in this room before the gate will activate. So what I do here is once I eventually get in range, because you're webbed and stuff as well, so the slow boating really is slow. Once I get in range, I will drop an MTU to start pulling stuff in. Please go and attack them, drones. Hello, there we go. I'm going to blame the internet for that short period of uncertainty there. How close am I now? Getting there. Pull them back in again. But yeah, the E-War is insane. You just need to kind of learn what does what. So Omens, for example, they're DPS, but they also web. Oracles are definitely DPS. So if you haven't got the tank to deal with it, you've got to take out the Oracles. But they, I think, also warp disrupt. Curses Newt, the heretics target paint as well as high DPS because they're destroyers, and then the frigates do all sorts of crazy stuff. 2 more curses that we've got to take out. This is a nasty wave. I'm actually going to swap for the curses because this is a nasty wave for this ship setup. We have reached the point where I can drop an MTU now, though. Ah, please engage. But they took so long to respond to my F key. I've got to pull them back in already. But like I said, way over tanked for this. The one thing the drones are good at, of course, is if they pull aggro, suddenly you're not getting shot anymore. Let's actually shoot the curses and not the. So you're not getting neuted and stuff anymore if you let the drones pull the aggro. So if you are struggling for newt and tank and things, like sacrificing your drones is a legitimate way to go. not doing, because it's in thermal. I've only got furies. I'm not doing much better against these curses. So that was a waste of time reloading. Pull them back in. Oh yeah, I'm really struggling to get through the curses, man. This is not a good weapon system choice. There also seems to be reps. Something is repping the curses. It could be local rep, of course, or something else. Because there's none in right now on screen, but there are Augoras as well spawn, and they do remote rep. Yeah. So you just got to chunk your way through all this rubbish. Hopefully I've got enough in this clip to take out that curse, and then I'll reload to EM this time because it's Caldari Navy, and EM is the second best. But I didn't notice this problem when I ran the Crimson Gauntlet site. Pretty much everything had an EM hole. So I didn't notice this problem. Whereas in the Tetrimon base, yeah, there's a explosive hole in the boss and most of the ships, but then massive explosive resist in a couple of ships, which just seems pretty annoying. There will be a third wave spawn as well. So depending on like how you're able to clear once you clear the full second wave, the gate unlocks. But that third wave can spawn before you finish clearing the second wave. So if you just keep an eye on which ships were left, which is why I've got them all locked up now. If I clear this down, as long as I'm not warp scrammed, I can take the gate. So basically, it would then just be a case of clearing anything that's got a scram, and then you can disappear. All right, we finally got rid of the curses. Now let's go after the heretic. Heretic should go now nice and quickly. Go kill that crucifier with drones. Reload back to Nova. And let's hope that we can kill this before anything spawns. And we'll just take what's already inside the thing. And the gate didn't unlock. That's unfortunate. So unless I've just completely misjudged how long that was definitely 2 waves, right? So I think we just got unlucky there. And there's 2 more curses, and I've reloaded to Nova. Oh God, this is not a good site for my setup. As I say, the spawns are random, so you can't. What was I going to say? You can't predict how it's going to turn out in spawn-wise. So the Augora here, which is remote rep, has 150,000. Interesting. Has a explosive hole. But then I'm going to have to reload again to go back into the curses. Such a pain. And this, as I say, if the curses didn't spawn, and I've now had 6, then this would have been way easier because the damage type doesn't matter. Oh, the gate's there now, but as mentioned, so that's annoying. So that Augora, I think, basically spawned in the wrong wave. The first ship I cleared from this third wave now has unlocked the gate, which means it was part of the second wave. But I'm disrupted by all the crucifiers and curses. So I've got to take them out before I can warp and take the gate. So basically, the only thing I don't have to kill is this Crusader. But at least with this damage set up now, it's easier to take the curses out. And then the third room is the boss room. That's normally 2 full waves followed by the boss wave, which may or may not have the boss spawn by itself, or with a full wave, or just like at the end of your second wave. Like, it just seems random as well. But there is no problems at all with the Praxis in terms of being able to take these out. It's just a bit slow. You will have like you can do this in a cruiser, no question. Like I've run them in healers before. The problem is you got to watch your drone issue. And the other thing, uh, everyone else, there'll be a huge chunk of people running these sites. Oh, come on, I pressed. That's annoying. I pressed control space, and I guess the lag again just didn't let me. So now if I want to go, I could warp out and go and rescue my MTU. Let's see if I can.
Because natural phenomena are disrupting the ship.
Let's see. Now I'm disrupted. So that MTU is basically gone. Can I bookmark? I can't bookmark the gate because that won't help. Gate will already be gone. That MTU's gone. I don't think I've got any way of getting back to it because of hotel lag. I mean, I could get back to it. If I take out these two heretics and then warp off, I can then come back through. So I am going to do that because I don't want to lose the ship. But obviously, I'm not going to do that on camera. So you'll see me take out this heretic, and then we'll rejoin for the rest of the wave in a second. But like I was saying, actually, a lot of people run these as marauders. So you will have you basically be DPS checked at the end when you take on the boss. The wreck just spawns to whoever deals the most damage to it. It's not final blow or anything. It's whoever deals the most damage. So if you're in a quiet time zone or in a quiet part of space and can run these without competition, then you can run it in something cheap and small, Praxis or a cruiser or something, and you'll be all good. But if you've got heavy competition, then you'll probably need to find a marauder or something. So actually, just while we're working our way back to the MTU now, worth mentioning, there's another sale on at the moment, which is it's another very good one. So previously, what did we have? It wasn't a sale, but you got 20% additional Plex in each package. Now it's the inverse, and it's a sale, so it's the normal amount of Plex, but 20% off at the moment. So again, with the really big packages, you could buy 20,000 Plex, so you get 20% off. It really adds up, and you get all the I can't remember what they're called now, but there's a new range of Memuba skins. Which have been created by a player to Amber, which is pretty cool, and they're really good for the commercial side of it, the industrial side of it. So on your haulers and things, those skins they're beautiful. So if you do fancy picking up some Plex at the moment, now is a good time to do it. If you would consider using my creator code when you're doing so, I'd be very much appreciate it. It's in the description, but it's also just WAD. Or head over to Marquee Dragon Store using my link in the description, where you will also get 3% discount if you use my link. Scoop that. Was there anything in there? No. So let's go and then finish off this site. Also remember to collect your things as you go along. So after 10 killing 10 ships in the site, you then have to collect the reward before you then take on the battleship. Otherwise, you'll lose your good work on the path. I was wondering when downtime was, because in a unusual time zone for me. So good to know that downtime's in an hour. Think about having some food at that point, I guess. Right. So this is the end of wave 1. They appear to have forgotten that I exist and no one's targeted me yet. There we go. Better. So yeah, Oracle's 300k. The bounce payments really do add up. It's worth doing this just for a bit of farming. Even if you don't get great loot drops, it does mean you get paid quite nicely while you farm your way through the event. There are hacking sites as well. You don't have to do combat for these to work you up here. So one of the other mission lines is to scan and hack down sites. Scan down and hack sites. They're data sites, so you don't need relic analyzers, and they are normally relatively lucrative as well. Um, so worth doing. That's probably what I'll do most of my career path on is through the hacking. As mentioned, these are all over New Eden and JSpace, so you can run them where you are. They're also they're a high, because it's a Blood Raider event. Understandably, the Blood Raider owned space, or not owned space, but the space where Blood Raiders exist down in Delve in Nullsec, um, does have a different type of site with it's supposed to be much harder, and it also can escalate into a really hard site with big loot rewards. I'm going to see if at some point I can get into doing one of those, but no promises. But if you want to see that, then of course make sure you subscribe to the channel so you get notified if I do pull it off. It's not just in Delve though. There's also 3 constellations in Losec in Metropolis where you can run these as well. So that might be where I try it out. The only thing to bear in mind is there's a 90% PvP drop at the moment, and there's only 3 constellations where you could do this. So I can only assume that they're going to be heavily camped. If you go in here and Metropolis, zoom in, it's this area. So it's Ugidi, Anglis, and Essin are the 3 constellations where these sites can spawn in Losec. The Anglis could be a good one, for example, because you've also got the 0.2 and 0.1, so you could go and roam for the clone soldier stuff at the same time. But yeah, Anglis is a pocket, Ugidi is this fun pocket, and Essin is also a fun pocket. That's where they exist. So I may go and try that out, as I say, or at least go and do the hacking in those areas. But almost definitely camped, 9% PvP drop. So yeah, why wouldn't you? If you're a pirate, maybe I'll go and camp there myself. I'll die, but maybe I'll go do it. Okay, so this is wave 2. Time for our drones to come and do the business. This is probably too early, but I'm going to go to Nova now because at the end of wave 2, I think, maybe it's end of wave 3. It just seems so random. So the Tetrimon base I ran so far, it was the end of wave 2. The big guy spawned, and then when I ran the Crimson Gauntlet, it was the end of wave 3, or not even the end. Wave 3 spawned, and then as I was killing the first cruiser, the boss spawned in the middle of it. So here you go. So here's wave 3 spawning now. So what might happen is we just have the boss spawn any second as well. And if that happens and you're in a ship that isn't overtanked or has a lot of capacitor, you can end up in some hot water. Not gonna lie. So I'm just gonna go after the Oracle for now and see if the big guy spawns while I'm taking the Oracle out. Because what you can do, yeah, see, like how is like this would have ruined a lot of people. But what you can do is just go straight for the boss, because when you kill them, everyone else warps off and it despawns. But he has heavy newt pressure. He has warp scram, warp disruption, sorry, heavy nuke pressure, and quite a lot of DPS. So you got to get through them quite quickly before. So if you're having to absorb everything from the oracles and all the other stuff at the same time, then you got a problem. But his weakest is in explosive. It's worth 5 million in bounty plus his loot drop. But yeah, things are going okay for us because we're way over tanked and we've got decent capacitor and things. But there's his warp disruption. Interesting that he's not. He's now webbing me. Don't know why he's not neuting me yet. But that's basically the site. We'll see what loot we get out of this one. But yeah, as I say, come on. Thank you. With literally the last, literally my last missile. So everything warps off now, and the site's finished. But yeah, so the ship is fine running them. It just could do it faster with a different weapon system. What do we get? Really nothing good. Like as I say, like these don't have a value yet, but you'll get close to 24 million for that. Let's call it 20 million. So you know, it's still worth doing. But I like the other stuff, and I just got a hard shell. Not going to bother with the rest. But that's it. That's a Tetrimon base. Crimson Gauntlet similar, same idea, but obviously Blood Raider rats. Remember to collect your stuff, and then carry on farming. Yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Sorry the video's a day or two late. I appreciate it. If you do want to see if I manage to pull off some higher level stuff down the line, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Yeah, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Cheers.